Hey everybody, it's Rob the Backyard Gardener, and I think it's time I get you updated on my peach trees grown from seed. That's right everyone, I felt like it's time to get you updated on my peach tree grown from seed. We're about a week away from him being 33 months old now. Hard to believe how time has gone by. He ended up not flowering this year, of course, so we didn't get any fruit. I did a summer pruning last year, right around this time, and I felt like taking you along this year because what I want to do now is get him summer pruned and hope that next year we get some flowers or some fruit. Let me go ahead and get the camera flipped around, give you a shot of this guy, where he looks like before I do the pruning, and then I'll take you on the journey of the prune, and we'll wrap it up with some final thoughts. So this peach tree is now 33 months old. I guess he's about a week away from 33 months old. And if you recall, almost a year ago to the day, we did a summer pruning on this guy, hoping that this would be the year that he would set some fruit. He ended up not flowering or fruiting. Pretty typical of young peach trees grown from seed. Although they can fruit at year 3, generally they start fruiting in between years 4 and 7. Now this guy will be at 33 months, like I said, in a couple of weeks from now. So come next year, he'll be entering his 4th year since I started him from seed. So right around spring of next year, he'll be at 40 months or so, which will put him at a high probability, or possibility, I guess is a better phrase, that he could fruit. In order to ensure a better chance, it is good to do some summer pruning on all your stone fruits right after they've finished harvesting. Now he hasn't had a harvest because he hasn't fruited, but my other 2 peach trees, my harvester peach and my lowering peach tree, both have had their harvest now, and I want them all to get flowering around the same time and fruiting at the same time. That way we can get some good cross-pollination. So to ensure a better likelihood that he could fruit next year, I've got to perform another summer pruning once again, like I did in the video a year ago, which I'll put a link up above so that you can check it out before you watch this one, or maybe even afterwards. Now, one of the things you'll want to do while you're doing summer pruning is you'll want to make sure you get rid of any terminal limbs. Terminal limbs are limbs where there's no more growth coming from them. It's the end of the road for that limb. These are the ones that don't have fruiting spurs, and so what you want to do is you want to prune it back. That way it sends out some side shoots, and it actually will more likely send out fruiting spurs versus just more terminal bud ends. One of the other things you want to do on summer pruning is you do not want to chop off more than 30% of your peach tree or any stone fruit tree or any fruit tree whatsoever, because that will then cause a lot of loss, some damage to the limbs, and the tree may die. So what I plan on doing today is doing a couple of things. Looking for any dying or not healthy ends, and down here we've got a couple because these are shaded a lot. The second thing I want to do is I want to open up the canopy a little bit. I've been growing this guy from a stump pretty much, which is typical of stone fruits grown from seed. They typically grow a little more dwarf size because they are hybrids. You almost never know what kind of fruit you're going to get off of these guys. So we're going to trim down a lot of this height. Next we're going to do is we're going to open up this center. It has a pretty good open center, but I've got some other branches like this one right here growing towards the middle. We don't want that. These 2 are growing towards the middle. I'm going to then also eliminate some of the lower growth from the base, some of these lower branches. We even have a pretty big one back here that I want to get rid of. I'm going to get rid of all these internal lower ones, some of these other ones hanging close to the ground. I want to raise the canopy of this by about 2 feet, and I want to take about 2 feet off the top, and then I want to eliminate most of the terminal limbs so I can promote some side shooting of fruit spurs. So what I'm going to do first is start by reducing the number of low branches on this tree, and then we'll get another look at it. So I wanted to show you how much I've opened them up down here. I also got to do some mowing, I know, or at least some weed whacking, but I opened them up quite a bit. Now I've left some of the branches that are growing inside in for now, because if you look at the top, he's got a pretty open canopy. I will be removing some of these ones facing in that are up higher, like these ones. But my next step is I got to be careful. We've taken off about 5 or 10% of the tree so far, and I want to keep a close eye on that. And I really want to work on some of this height that we have back here, because it's growing towards my house. And when I look at the branches, I'm gonna be looking to see where there are some side shoots that I would like to promote from. So like, for example, if I saw this bud right here, maybe down here, I would chop him right here and promote some growth from that growth spur right there. So what I'm gonna do next is eliminate some height, and then I'll bring you back in after we've done that. So there you have it. We've taken off a few feet on the top. Obviously he's not symmetrical yet, but I'm not worried about that. I have to leave some of the internal growing branches more than I like, because I gotta be careful of not pruning off too much. But we've removed a lot of the terminal buds about a foot down. I saw that we had some sprouts already growing on some ends, so I've left those in place. And I've tried to make cuts where I would want the plant to grow from. You can see that this bud will continue on here, and that's kind of what I wanted to take. So it is a pretty heavy summer pruning. This will give him enough months, 2 to 3 more months left of good sunlight and water, that he can put on a lot more fruiting spurs. And then when he goes dormant, he'll be happy and healthy. And if I wanted to, I could do a light winter pruning as well, late winter pruning, early spring. But I don't like to do that on my peach trees because I'm just worried about removing flowering spurs or causing any kind of shock or promoting him to come out of hibernation before he's ready. At the end of the day, 33 months old. I'm really hoping with a heavy dose of fertilizer that I'll give him in a couple of weeks, he will be ready to go, and maybe I'll see some flowers next year. As a reminder, I still have my peach trees grown from seed as well that are now 21-month-old saplings. I've kept these guys in smaller pots to keep them stunted so that I didn't have too much space taken up by them. You can see that they're starting to turn a little bit yellow. They're probably deficient on nutrients. It gets hot and they probably need to be in bigger pots. So on my next update, I'll have these guys from their 1-gallon pots probably into the 2 or 3-gallon pots so that they can branch out, spread out, and grow bigger before next season. So there you have it, everyone. That's my peach tree growing from seed update. I hope you're enjoying it. 33 months old, time's flying by. Anyway, as always, everyone, happy gardening. Sun's coming out full blast, and thanks for watching. We'll let the leaves break down for next year. We'll have some good compost.